What's up, everybody? Jay here with Jay's Backyard Cooking, and today we're gonna throw a pork butt on the acorn. Let's get into it. I already have it loaded. Got the charcoal all in there. I have the tumbleweed right there. A couple of blocks of wood. We're gonna get this going. Now what I'm gonna do, I'll walk you through the process. Learned it from another channel here on YouTube. I'm gonna get the fire going. I'm gonna let it sit for about 3 to 5 minutes. I'll get all the components put in there, and then we'll close it, open the vents all the way. And then at that point, we're just monitoring the temperature, letting it come up slow. All right, we're about the 3-minute mark. I'm gonna get the ceramic plate put in there, the deflector, and then the grill on top. And then I have my old trusty 4-probe Inkbird thermometer that I'm gonna use. If you haven't seen the other video, but I kind of explained it when I put this whole thing together, the actual thermometer that's on the lid, I sat on it when I was putting it together. So that broke. I prefer the Inkbird anyways. The grate on top. We'll get this closed up. Vents all the way open. Actually, let's get the probe. I like to set it back here in the back, that way it's out of the way. Get this fired up. Just a simple on and off switch, that's it. It'll do the rest for you. Let's close this up. Vents all the way open. At this point, we'll keep an eye on it till it hits about 100, 110, and then I'll close the vents about halfway. Okay, at this point, we hit 111 already. We're gonna close the top vent about halfway. It's numbered on top, so I'm gonna go up to about the number 3, and then down here in the bottom, about halfway, kind of choke that air out a little bit. Once it gets up to about 150, 175, then we'll go to a quarter on each one, and then from there we'll monitor it till it hits 250. So indoors, while we're waiting for the fire to come up on the acorn, I have this just over 5.5 pound boneless pork butt that we're gonna get prepped. Pretty simple. Obviously take it out of the package, score the fat cap on top, and then season, salt, pepper, and paprika. I have a bunch of videos, or I have a couple of videos at least, how to prep the pork butt. Seasoning is 100% up to you. Do what your heart desires. I say it over and over again. We keep it simple. Healthy dose of salt, healthy dose of black pepper, healthy dose of paprika. Get that flipped over. Same thing on the other side. Not too much to show here that you haven't already seen, but just remember it's a big chunk of meat here, so it's gonna be real hard to over season. I think the way I see it is once you feel like you have enough, add just a couple of more dashes. Quick and simple. Once the fire gets up, we'll be back outside. All right, it's up now to 178 degrees. I have it closed off to the number 1 on top, and then down there on the bottom, I mean, it's open just a smidge, just enough to kind of control that temperature now so it doesn't get up too high for me. What I'm shooting for is a temperature of around 250, 275 at the highest. So I'm gonna give this another probably 5 to 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna throw the pork butt on there. And at that point, I just continue to monitor it to make sure it doesn't get too hot for me. Okay, it's slowly rising in temperature. It's up to about 230 now. I'm gonna go ahead and put the pork butt in, fat cap up. Remember when working with these acorns, even with the big green egg, I believe, and the Kamado, all those, when you open it, you want to kind of just crack it a little bit first, let some of that steam come out, and then open it up all the way so you don't get some of that flashback or whatever it's called from the fire. So just open it kind of like this, and then swing it open just like that. It's a pretty good smoke going. It's not dirty. Yeah, I'm just gonna throw this on there. Just like that. And we'll watch it for about the next 2 hours or so. At some point I will start spritzing. All right, so here we are. I think we're going on about the 3-hour mark. Honestly, I'm not even paying attention to the time, but I got some other stuff going on with the pergola build and everything else. So I haven't even put the temperature gauge yet. I'm freaking to do that now. That way we can see where we're at as far as the pork butt goes. But we've been holding a pretty good temperature at 240, 239, 240. I checked it a while ago and it was at 245, so it's fluctuating up and down. I opened up the vent a little bit more. But again, the old trusty 4-probe Inkbird Remember, crack it a little bit. Let it breathe. And then we'll open it. Oh, she's looking pretty. We're just gonna stick this probe on one end there. Let me show you what it looks like real quick. Here we go, getting some nice color on there. All right, let's see what the temperature probe says. And this thing does get hot, so either use gloves, use a towel, or just be real quick with it. Let's see. Well, the temperature of the acorn quickly shot up as soon as we opened it to 205. Internal temp of the pork butt is 144. You know, pretty average. We got a ways to go. I'm gonna close these vents back up, try to get the temperature back down in a hurry. It shouldn't take too long though. Don't want it up too high for too long, but we'll keep checking on it. And I'm still undecided whether I'm gonna spritz or not. The way it's looking right now, as juicy as it is, I'm probably not. So we'll check back in a little bit. I realized I didn't turn the microphones on before I started recording, but basically what I was saying was we already reached an internal temperature of 163. I usually like to wrap between 160, 170, somewhere in that area. And these small gloves. So you saw I just double wrapped it in aluminum foil, stuck the probe back in there. I'm waiting to get an internal temp of about 200, 205, somewhere around there. I probably put it about 202, 203, somewhere around there, and then just set it in the oven to rest a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on it. All right, I'm gonna say we're into it right about the 5-hour mark. Acorn did pretty well this time, held steady anywhere between 250, 265, except obviously whenever I opened it, it would shoot up to 300, take a little while to get back down, but I'm not too worried about that. Inkbird, 4 probe, thermostat is showing 201 internal, 265 on the acorn. We're ready to pull and get her rested. Yeah, look at all this juice right here. She is juicy, which is the reason why I decided not to spritz at all, because I didn't feel like it needed it. But look at all this right here. Be careful with these. I'm gonna tilt it back this way, that way the juice goes back in, and then just transfer it over to the pan. Just like that. And we're gonna get this closed up, get my temperature probe off. Get this closed completely and close up the vents. You close up the vents, that's gonna kill the fire. We're gonna get to the side. I'm gonna wrap foil paper over this pan, and then we'll get it into the oven. We'll let it rest for about an hour or two. All right, so she's been resting for about an hour. I think I got the comal going. Gonna warm up some tortillas. Gonna eat pork butt tortilla. Pork butt tacos today. Let's get this unwrapped. I've said it before in my previous pork butt videos. If you're not gonna eat it all in one day, don't shred it all at one time. I believe that keeping it whole as long as possible until you're gonna eat it, it'll withhold some of the moisture, the juiciness. Let me get you in here real quick so you can see what it looks like. Hopefully it falls apart.
Do you need my assistance?
Can you help me?
Yes.
Wow.
You know
I'm leaving that in the video this time.
Okay, that's fine.
Let's see how good we did on the acorn. Look at that. Perfect. It didn't have a bone in this one. I usually get the one. Run away. I usually get the bone in. Oh, that's some good flavor. That is really good. Me and my wife aren't gonna eat all of this today. I'm gonna get about maybe half of it shredded up. I'm gonna line it in some corn tortillas. I think I have a little bit of pico left. I think the rest of this, I think I still have a pizza dough from the previous barbecue pizza that I made that may make for the second meal. Still piping hot, even after sitting in the oven for about an hour, covered. It's gonna make for some good eats tonight. So there you have it, folks. Pork butt in the acorn. If you like what you saw here, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, that like button, and comment. We'll see you next time. You know, folks, sometimes life's sweetest moments aren't big dramatic events. They're in the slow, smoky hours of a Sunday afternoon. Today I fired up the Char-Griller Akorn, dropped the seasoned pork butt on the grates, and let that magical smoke roll. It wasn't just about the food, it was about the rhythm of good work, good smells, and good company. While the pork slowly transformed into something divine, I was out there sanding down the pergola my son and son-in-law helped me build. Sweating, just like that pork butt in the acorn, but feeling grateful. Grateful for their help, grateful for the time, and grateful for that fine swine gently roasting behind me. Every whiff of that smoky pork reminded me, this is what it's all about. Hard work, family, and feeding the people you love. So here's my final thought. In a world that moves way too fast, sometimes you've got to slow it down to low and slow. Let the smoke roll. Get your hands onto something that lasts. And never take for granted the people who show up with a drill in one hand and a cold ultra in the other. So until next time, keep the grill hot and seasoning simple.